Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Rosie.
This summer, we went on a mission trip to Mexico. We went with a team from Rohler's Assembly of God, where my friend Jess Rowan's dad is the pastor, and her mom Jeannie was the trip leader. They'd had their team all formed since about April, and the money was all raised through fundraisers, when suddenly a bunch of people had to drop out for medical reasons. So Jeannie asked us if we wanted to come and fill in the spaces, and we were like, okay, that sounds fun. But we didn't exactly know how much fun it would be until we got there. We just knew that it would be an amazing opportunity, and it was definitely a God thing that we got to go because all the money was already raised, and it was just up to us to take the challenge.
So we got to go, and the people we were with were absolutely amazing. We had so much fun with them, and we got to be really close. These are some of the interpreters, and we just had time to grow in God ourselves and also to be able to reach out to others.
While we were there, we saw this mountain which says Cristo Salva on it, which means Christ saves in Spanish. And we just thought that was so amazing that the people there were already that into God that they would put it on a mountain for everyone to see. And thus all had a dove, which obviously is peace. And here we're in the car riding to our VBS, and we did a bunch of songs for the kids, and we had motions, and they were in Spanish. So we didn't always know what the words were, but we knew them in English, and the kids learned them in Spanish. So together, we got along fine.
And we also handed out a bunch of balloons, and the kids just absolutely loved that. They were crying out always, they wanted globos, which are balloons, and they were always telling us what they wanted, if they wanted a sword or a hat or a dog or whatever else they wanted.
Yeah, we didn't exactly know how to twist them, but we learned eventually by the end after many broken balloons. And we went to some migrant camps too, and here I am swinging a little girl around, and she really liked that. And here's my little girl Sandy, and I would just like to pull her up and she would just jump into the air and then come back down. And she also liked taking pictures, even though her fingers sometimes went over the lens, but it was all fun.
And we also got to give our testimonies while we were there. Everyone in the group got to give one. And we just got to talk about how God had already worked in our lives and hoping to be able to touch someone else's life.
And here's the pastor's family of our host church there. Every night we had dinner with their family, and sometimes they would sing for us, and they were amazing musicians. And it was just amazing to have fellowship with people from other cultures.
Yeah, the one night we got to sing The Saints Go Marching In, and they sang it in Spanish, and then we sang it in English, and it was just one of the most amazing things.
Yeah. And then here we are with a bunch of our kids. A bunch of us teens got really involved with the kids. We just loved them to death, and they loved us. So we each had our favorites, but we loved them all.
And the entire time, we were just trying to love on them because they don't have as much as we have, and just any time we could give them, they just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things I learned from the trip, just to cherish kids, because I didn't even realize how much I loved kids until I went to Mexico, and then I came back and did VBS here, and I just absolutely love working with the children. They just have so much joy and enthusiasm for God and for everything in life.
Yeah, I think the thing I learned most from it was just about God's love, how everyone needs love, and you just need to try to give it whenever possible.
Yeah, it was just the most amazing thing I remember was when we'd get into a group after our VBS that we did there, and we'd have our interpreters, and Jeannie would be praying a salvation prayer, and then Alejandra, one of our interpreters, would repeat it in Spanish. And all the little kids' voices saying stuff like, Te amo Jesus, which means I love you, Jesus. It was just the most adorable thing in the world, and I just could totally picture the angels up in heaven having a little party or fiesta for all the kids that were being saved right at that moment.